What is up, everybody? It's Kenny J back with another video, and I'm just gonna kind of talk about some things that have been bothering me a couple of days, on top of this whole car situation from my previous video. And I'll put the link to that video if I don't forget. But the thing that I want to talk about is the issues that I have with the African American community. Now, I'm just leaving school, so it's what, 3:31 p.m. right now? Not that that matters, but I'm starting to notice a lot of things going on that I really do not appreciate. And here's what I mean. You know, again, with my car situation, you know, come to find out that it was a black person that did this. So, you know, me being a person who, you know, always gives people the benefit of the doubt and try to push against the grain as far as what people do and say, you know, towards different communities, especially the African American community, and you know, the judgment and the hypocrisy and all that stuff. I was firmly taught to believe that, you know, do unto others as you will want them to do unto you. So, you know, coming up on this event that happened, you know, of unfortunate circumstances with my vehicle, and finding out who did it, you know, it makes me really think differently, because a lot of people say, you know, and you know, now I'm a believer of this. A lot of people say you don't truly understand until it really happens to you. And the thing is how I was, well, where I was raised in the suburbs. Okay, I'm a suburban. So I'm not at all a stranger to city life. You know, I am from New Jersey, but as my family moved down here to Georgia, we moved to the suburbs, and a great deal of my life was in the suburbs. So that's why I call myself a suburban. All throughout elementary, middle, and high school, and some of college, I lived in the suburbs. So living in the suburbs, I lived around a lot of Caucasian people. So I don't take offense when people, and when I say people, I mean black people, get taken aback about, you know, how I talk, and they listen to how I use my words and how I use complete sentences. They look at me and say, oh, why do you talk so proper? Why you gotta talk like you better than everybody else? No, I'm not talking like I'm better than anybody else. I'm talking as an educated person. Okay, first of all. And second off, why are you so offended by people who speak on a higher level than you? If that bothers you, go to school, get an education, and learn how to talk better yourself. Plain and simple. So, learning that it was in fact a black person that vandalized my vehicle in such a way to where it has caused me to slightly have to rethink my budget, you know, change a little bit of how I do things, it gives me a little bit of a bias. And then yesterday I am sitting in school waiting for my boyfriend to get off work because he works at the campus, and I'm sitting there, and one of my friends, who actually I gotta give a call or a text message to, she's Caucasian, older woman, and I don't know what kind of health issues she has, but I know she has high anxiety, and her anxiety causes her to shake when her anxiety is very high. And She has a very, bodacious voice. She's very, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say she's loud, but she has a very strong voice. So when she speaks, you know it, because that's just how strong her voice is. Getting to the point, I hear her on the opposite side of the floor that because the way the campus is set up is you have the classrooms, and the floor that I was on, there's two, I believe I want to call them lecture halls. And so because they're lecture halls, there's the doorways, you have like a little corridor in between, and then you have the landing where there are chairs set up that are put there for students to, I guess, wait for their next class, or if they want to study, they can do that. So I'm sitting there on the opposite side of where she's at, and I'm hearing the conversation. Ooh, they're gonna get a ticket. I have a school bus in front of me, and some person just ran through their stop sign, so that's a $300 ticket that they're gonna get. So, but anyway, back to what I was saying. She's talking to 3 African American girls. These girls are obviously very young, very stupid, mind you, because of what they were saying. Gave me the impression that they were young, immature, and just full of themselves. So as I'm sitting there and I'm listening to the conversation, and I hear my friend say out of her mouth, my Caucasian friend, she says, I really don't like it when people think that I'm a racist. And then she started going into her background and how she has different races in her family and this, that, and the third. And so I'm sitting there saying, I know these 3 girls are not jumping on her because of something that was probably said and they took it out of context. Like every time, and I'm not saying that all black people are like this, because that's one thing I don't want this video to be taken into context. I'm not saying this about all black people, but you ghetto motherfuckers who think that you're entitled and think that because you're so upset in whatever situation that is making you upset. I don't know why there's so much anger in the African American community. Okay, yes, I get it. Slavery happened. Okay. Slavery happened. There's white privilege. I get all that. All right? But it doesn't excuse your behavior. It just doesn't. Because there are people out there who are willing and more than, I can't even find the word for it, because it's like there's just people out there who are willing to put themselves on the line to say, we get it. But it seems like a lot of black people, not all of them, because you do have some good ones, they're out there making a living for themselves, minding their own business, doing for themselves and their family, taking care of them and theirs. It's the ones that really just don't do nothing for themselves, are always in the system. And when I say system, I mean welfare, food stamps, you name it, they got it, because it's like, okay, well, I'm entitled to this because of how our people was treated and how this country did us back in the day. First of all, get over it, okay? This is a new age, a new day. Yeah, there's racism still going on. Yes, there's still a lot of things that need to be addressed, and I'm not excusing that either. But how are you going to make a difference by going around in violence, doing stupid shit, calling people out of their names, blocking highways with, like this Black Lives Matter, going out there blocking highways, and just all this nonsense, thinking that they're proving a point, and you're not. All you're doing is pissing people off and proving them right. You're nothing but a bunch of ingrates doing stupid shit, and that's exactly what their mind frame is. And the reason why they have that mind frame and that mindset is because you give it to them every freaking time. Just like I was seeing these 3 black girls sitting there jumping down her throat about racism. And let me tell you, she is not a racist. She is not somebody that will sit there and say something so outlandishly evil to make you think she's a racist. And the fact that she had to stand there and explain herself completely, it blows my mind. It blows my mind to the fact that you still have African Americans out here who think that every white person walking the planet is a racist. Like, what? So, of course, me being protective as I am, because I'm very protective of my friends and family, I was tempted to go over there if I had not have been on the phone trying to settle this whole car situation. Because even though my car has been totaled out and things of that nature for the insurance company, things still aren't settled, you know. And me, emotionally, I'm still not settled. Simply because I go to bed every night thinking that somebody is either gonna blow holes through my walls and my windows, or I'm gonna come out and see my new vehicle shot to shit. Because it's like, you know, and most people be like, oh, well, you live in a gated community, you know, I don't understand why you're having these issues. Well, it's really not the community that's the issue. It's the area that's the issue. And unfortunately, where I live, it's right off the highway, 20 minutes from Atlanta. And from what I was told, a lot of gang activity have been rising in Atlanta for the past few years. Crime has been going up. So me and my boyfriend have been talking, and we're looking at moving. You know, it's the only safe option that we have, which is sad, because you have a lot of these police brutality cases. You have a lot of these videos that I've been watching on YouTube and Facebook that people post, and I'm now seeing, no wonder white people have this outlook on the African American community. Look how you behave. The last video that I watched, there was a woman literally pulling the gas station attendant through the bulletproof casing. She literally had her hands around his shirt trying to pull him through the glass for a nickel. For a striking nickel. Are you kidding me? Like, you're upset over a freaking coin. I could see if it was like $10 or $15, and even that doesn't excuse your behavior. But a coin? 5 cents? Are you serious? Like, black people are so quick to jump the gun and just go into this rant and rage for no reason at all. For what? What are you getting upset about? Like, somebody please explain to me, why is it that black people feel the need to shoot first, ask questions later, if they even have any questions to ask? Because it's like, you could be saying hi or just walking past them and they think you looking at them a certain way, so the first thing they gonna do is threaten your life and jump at you with all kinds of threats and violence and jumping all in your face. Like, everything that these people, and when I say these people, white people, Hispanic people, a lot of people that have these outlooks on the African American community, I feel are justified. Because if you can sit there and flip off completely over a goddamn nickel, how can you complain when cops come at you the way that they do and say, look, you need to calm down? And, you know, I'm not excusing the police officers at all, because there are some cases where there are some brutal incidences where it was not called for, but I can see why they're so on guard. But back to what I was saying in the car, people wonder why Black people wonder why cops are so standoffish. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, it's another brutality issue. It's another brutality issue. No, they have that standoffish situation is because they see the violent shit you guys do. Look at what happened to my car. You mean to tell me that, I'm sorry, I even thought, you know what? I'm going to shoot this person in the face. And I said that in my last video. So if I'm thinking that, and I'm not white, how do you think they feel? So when a woman clutches her purse when you come walking by, or moves out the way, or just goes the opposite direction, because I'm going to be honest, I do the same damn thing now. And guess why? You did that. You and your entitled, asinine behavior. That is why. I just would like somebody to, in the comments, please leave comments below. Why are African Americans so crazy? Like, I don't understand that. Like, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to generalize all African Americans. This is just to the ones that feel like they can just do what the fuck they want to do. You know, the hood rats, basically. I'm going to just be honest. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. Because it wasn't an upstanding middle class to upper middle class black person that shot holes into my car. It wasn't upstanding classy women that were screaming my friend down in public at the school in the hallway. It's these ghetto birds that go around with these ignorant mind frames, and they do stupid shit all the time, and I don't understand it. And then they wonder why people always sit there and cast down the most hated judgment that you could possibly think of. Why do people always... That's why we don't like white people, because they always say this about us, and they always have that to say about us. Are they wrong? I mean, really, I don't know anybody down here. I don't. I really don't. It's just me and my boyfriend. My family is all up north Georgia. His family, they're here in Atlanta, but they're spread. But it's not like we're all together. So we really don't go out as much. We don't have friends in this area. Okay, and the friends that I do have, I drive 30 minutes to an hour to go visit. So, seeing that I'm a student, and then after I leave work, I drop my boyfriend home. I have like a minute or two to sit down, take a breather, change my clothes if I need to, and then go out to work. And I don't get back until 1, almost 2 o'clock in the morning. So, you mean to tell me that a black person, for no reason at all, decides to take a gun and blow holes through my fucking car? For what? For what? And it's not just the violence issue, okay? When I speak to other African Americans, oh, you got kids? How many kids you got? I say, I don't have any kids. In fact, I'm gay. So, oh, you one of those. Don't even know me. You don't even know me and you're already judging me. And then the first question you ask is how many kids I have. Why does it matter how many kids I have? And that's another thing I find that's a problem in the African American community. Why is there such a push on having so many kids? I watched this one news segment where this woman had 15 kids from three different men. 10 of them being from one, 3 being from the other, and the other 2 from the last man. 3 of her oldest were old enough to take care of themselves, and then she had 12 younger ones that were minors. And she was sitting there on TV, and literally said on national colored TV, and said, somebody needs to pay for all my children. So you mean to tell me that because I go to work and I pay my taxes that I have to come out of my pocket in tax money to pay for your kids' upbringing, first of all, close your legs. Second of all, nobody is responsible for your children but you. Just because you decided to hold yourself around whatever town you live in does not mean that everybody is responsible for your offspring. That does not make a damn sense to me. They go and have all these kids, and because they have all these kids, and it's not really a African American thing, it's an American thing. It's a governmental American thing. For some reason, they award people for having children, and black people take advantage of it. I had made a video that I actually have on, it's in private, and this is back when I was working with my previous employer. She literally told me that she not only panhandles, but she takes advantage of the system and literally doesn't mind doing it because she makes thousands of dollars a week. And I'm like, so you mean to tell me you panhandle and then you take from the governmental assistance programs? Really? And then, like I said, black people always wonder why there is such a negative outlook on the African American community. This is why. So, as opposed to saying, oh, Black Lives Matter, and that's another thing I'm so sick and tired of hearing. Oh, Black Lives Matter. Okay, well, you know what? If Black Lives Matter, then take it into your own hands and not violently and say, you know what? We got to make a change and start changing people's outlook on us because this has got to stop. Guys walking around with their pants hanging all the way down to their ankles with the ass hanging out, underwear and all that stuff. Who wants to see that walking down the street? Pull your fucking pants up. Have some decency about yourself. Have some self-respect. If you knew where that style came from, you really wouldn't be doing it if you are not asking for what that really means. Because what it really means is you're ready for some sexual action and not the straight kind. Look it up. Again, not educated, walking around with this ignorant outlook like everybody owes me because of what my ancestors went through and what white people did to us, and when they have white people, whatever. Your ancestors went through it all. We're free now. Yes, there's still racism. There's still stigmas that's going on. But you know what? You can change all that just by doing an act of kindness. And like I said, with Black Lives Matter out there blocking the highways, protesting, and when you have white people actually standing in your behalf, coming there to help you, you're telling them, oh no, you can't stand up here, you gotta stand in the back, you gotta go over here, you gotta go over here. Just rude. And God forbid somebody black gets some money. All of a sudden they get some money and now they think they're God's gift to the world. So you got two extreme sides to the African American community. You got the poor black ones that are from the slums and the ghettos who don't know how to act like civilized human beings. And then you got the ones living in mansions, got all these golds and silvers and all kinds of cash and stuff. They got to boast about it and show it all over the place. I'm seeing pictures all over Instagram with people with wads of cash in their hands talking about, oh, look what I got. And I'm driving a Mercedes Benz and stuff like that. So what? Okay, you got wealth, you got riches. Why do you have to boast about it? Why do you have to go around flaunting it? I get that it's something you never had, but at the same time, like, put that shit away. That's why you get robbed. Kim Kardashian's situation, to a great example of it. Like, seriously. You think that going around flaunting your wealth makes you a better person? And that's just how black people are. They forget where they come from, and all of a sudden they get, they have a step up in the class rank. All of a sudden, I don't want nothing to do with those people. They from the same tracks you are. I swear, you can take the person out of the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of the person, no matter how much money they have. It's ridiculous. And then, of course, you have the ones that are just so far gone to the point where it's like they don't have no priorities in line at all. It's like they just do everything out of order. Living in a cardboard box somewhere next to a train station, but you driving a $60,000 to $100,000 car. What sense does that make? You driving a car that costs more than where you live. They put more emphasis in what they drive as opposed to their bank account, their finances, and how they live, or some investments. And I'm sorry, but I had to make a video about this because it seems like a lot of black people just don't get why there's such a stigma on the African American community today. And I didn't even touch on all of it. This is just from my experience. Oh, there is a lot more to be said on that issue, but this is just from my experience, from what I have been through, what I have seen. And baby, it's ridiculous how I can literally sit here and say that black people think that their shit don't stink. I don't want to hear no more about this Black Lives Matter BS. I don't want to hear nothing about police brutality. Because like I said, after this whole car incident and coming out and seeing the sheer amount of vandalism that was done to my car for nothing, and the videos that I watch on YouTube of black people showing their behinds in public and doing the stupid stuff that they do, I can't defend something that you say Black Lives Matter, but the thing is, you don't even value your own lives. So why should anybody else care? I don't. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna be honest. I really don't. Like you shoot into my car, okay? You're screaming at my friend down the hallway because you think she said something off color or whatever, calling her a racist when in fact she's really not. You didn't even get to know her. You didn't even try to get to know her. You're just trying to make her feel small for whatever reason when you're in fact making yourself look stupid and immature. So yes, this video is on the context of black people and the stupid shit they do, and then want to sit there and complain and whine when all of a sudden there's these awful news heads with police brutality and black people are getting killed by white police officers. Well, if you stop egging them on and stop giving them a reason to, and I'm not saying that all cases have been like that, but the majority have. And the reason why they're so standoffish is because they're like, okay, well, this is a black person. I don't know what I'm going to get. Am I going to get a gun in my face? Or am I going to get somebody who can actually act like a civil human being? So, as opposed to thinking that, they take the other road and say, you know what, I'm going to pull my gun first. So, don't complain. Do not complain. And as far as a community that is suffering the most, right now you have Native Americans who are fighting to just have their land back. They're fighting the government to prevent this pipeline from going through their graveyards and having their ancestors dug up for an oil pipeline. Then you have the LGBT community fighting every day, trying to get laws passed to just protect them as human beings. Black people really don't know how good they got it right now. Despite the racisms, despite the bigotry and a lot of other things that happen. But the thing is, stop being uncivilized. You may have your own opinions. Hey, you know what? If you agree, you don't agree, whichever, you're not gonna you're not gonna hurt my feelings. But at the same time, I know from my experience what I've been through, and like I said, I'm not generalizing all black people, and I'm not looping all black people into what I'm saying. It's the ones that don't have any type of home training, that grow up in the ghetto thinking that, okay, this is my life, this is a small world, people are against us, so we gonna be against them. Fuck you. No. I'm sorry. You need to broaden your horizons. If you need to go to another country and learn a few things, then do that. But don't walk around and sit here and think that, oh, well, because I'm black and because we've been through slavery, I get to do whatever the fuck I want. No. That's not how it works. In fact, it's that entitlement that keeps getting your stupid asses in trouble. So with that, I'm going to end this video because I have some things that I got to take care of. And please leave comments. Do voice your opinions. If you agree, if you don't agree, whichever. Definitely would like to know why it is that some black people think that what they do is of no fault of their own, and what they do is a justifiable act. Because it's not. You hurt innocent people and then you don't give two shits about it, but then want to go up in arms when you start hearing about these police brutality situations and what somebody did to the black community and what somebody said. And I'm sorry, but you cannot complain. You cannot complain. I'm sorry. So, with that, like I said, I'm going to end this video and get on to what I need to do. And I will talk to y'all later.